All right, ready to dive deep into the world of accounting assistants. We're going to figure out how to absolutely crush that job interview. And to help us out, we've got some really solid resources from RoleCatcher. Career guides, sample interview questions, all tailored for this specific role. Think of it like your secret weapon for interview success. You ready to unlock your inner accounting ninja?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher is a game changer for anyone looking to break into the accounting world. It's like having a career coach right there in your pocket.
So let's get down to business and tackle those interview questions head on. The ones that can either make you shine or send you packing. RoleCatcher's given us 9 common questions that accounting assistant candidates often face. But before we unpack each one, can you give us a quick rundown of what an accounting assistant actually does, especially in the ticketing industry? Because that adds a unique twist, right?
Right. So while the core responsibilities are pretty standard across industries, recording transactions, managing those accounts payable and receivable, assisting with financial reporting, all that good stuff, the ticketing industry throws in a whole other layer. You're dealing with a ton of transactions, often happening in real time. And you're working hand in hand with ticketing managers, making sure all those ticket sales, refunds, and deposits are financially accurate.
So it's not just about being a number cruncher. It's about understanding the flow of money in a really fast-paced and ever-changing industry. Gotcha, that makes total sense. All right, let's dive into those interview questions, starting with the first one from RoleCatcher. Can you walk me through your experience with accounts payable? Seems straightforward, but what's the real test here? What's the interviewer trying to figure out?
They're looking for more than just a list of tasks you've done. They want to see if you really grasp the whole accounts payable process, from beginning to end, how you tackle problems, and how much attention you pay to detail. It's your chance to showcase your hands-on experience and your ability to manage the money coming in and out of the company.
So don't just rattle off every single task you've ever done related to accounts payable.
Exactly. Specificity is key here. Instead of saying, I processed invoices, tell a story. Describe a time you spotted an error on an invoice, how you fixed it, what you learned from it. They want to see those problem-solving skills in action.
That's a great tip. Highlighting those times you went above and beyond, that can really set you apart. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be a lifesaver. It analyzes your answers and gives you feedback based on the specific job requirements, so you know your answers are hitting the mark.
It's like having a personal interview coach, helping you refine your answers and put your best foot forward. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. How do you ensure accuracy in financial reporting? This one goes straight to the heart of accounting, wouldn't you say?
For sure, accuracy is non-negotiable in accounting. You can't afford to be sloppy when you're dealing with financial data. So what's the interviewer really digging into with this question?
They want to know you understand how important precision is and that you have systems in place to minimize errors. Inaccurate financial reporting can have huge consequences for a company. They need to trust that you'll be meticulous and reliable with their financial data.
So it's not enough to just say, I'm a careful person. What are some concrete examples? How can our listeners show they're truly committed to accuracy?
This is where you talk about your process. Do you double-check your work? Do you reconcile accounts regularly? Are you using specific software or techniques to verify data accuracy? Maybe you have a special way of organizing and cross-referencing information. Whatever your methods are, highlight those steps. Show them you're making sure every number is accounted for and every report is accurate.
So it's all about demonstrating that you have a system, a process, a way of approaching your work that minimizes the possibility of errors, especially in the fast-paced world of ticketing, where transactions are happening constantly.
Exactly. Now, are there any traps to avoid when answering this question?
I think one trap is being too vague. Just saying, I make sure everything's right doesn't tell the interviewer anything. Remember, be specific, paint a picture, walk them through your process, demonstrate your commitment to accuracy through those concrete actions.
That's excellent advice. And don't forget, RoleCatcher can fine-tune those answers. Make sure they're aligned with the specific job you're after. Okay, question number 3. How do you prioritize and manage your workload? That's a classic interview question, no matter what field you're in.
Totally. And it's especially relevant in accounting, where you're juggling a million things. Multiple tasks, deadlines, demands. It's a lot. So what's the interviewer trying to assess here?
They're checking out your organizational skills, your time management, and how you handle pressure. The ticketing industry is fast-paced and things change constantly. Peak seasons, unexpected events, deadlines always looming. They need someone who can handle the heat and keep things running smoothly.
So it's not just about getting the work done, it's about being efficient and effective,
Mm-hmm.
even when the pressure is on. How can our listeners show they've got those skills?
Share your strategies. Do you use a to-do list, a project management tool, maybe a framework like the Eisenhower Matrix to prioritize tasks? Talk about how you decide what's urgent and important, how you break down those big projects into manageable chunks, and how you stay focused when things get crazy.
Those are all great points. And it might be helpful to mention a time when you had to switch gears because of an unexpected issue. Explain how you adapted, reprioritized, and still delivered. It shows you're flexible and can handle those curveballs that life throws at you.
Adaptability is a valuable skill in any role, but especially in a dynamic industry like ticketing. Now, is there anything you should avoid saying when answering this question?
Definitely avoid saying you just work until everything's done. It might sound dedicated, but it could also signal a lack of time management skills. That's a red flag for any employer. You want to demonstrate that you have a system for handling your workload efficiently.
Exactly. And once again, RoleCatcher's AI can help refine that answer and ensure it fits with what the specific job is looking for. All right, on to question number 4. How do you handle difficult or complex accounting issues? This one might seem intimidating, but it's actually a great chance to shine.
Yeah, it's a chance to showcase those problem-solving skills, your analytical thinking, your ability to handle those tough situations that pop up in accounting all the time. So what does the interviewer really want to know here?
They want to understand how you think when faced with a complex issue. Do you panic? Do you freeze? Or do you approach it calmly and methodically, breaking it down into smaller steps? Do you seek out the information you need to solve the problem?
So it's not just about having the answer, it's about showing how you navigate ambiguity, how you think critically and find solutions. Any tips for crafting a killer response to this question?
This is where real-life examples come in handy. Think back to a time when you faced a particularly tricky accounting issue. Walk the interviewer through your process step by step. What did you do to analyze the problem? Did you consult with colleagues? Did you research accounting standards or regulations? Did you use specific software or techniques? By painting a clear picture of your approach, you demonstrate that you can handle tough situations.
It's not just about the solution, it's about the journey of getting there. Highlight those steps you took, the resources you used, the decisions you made. It shows you have a methodical and thoughtful approach to problem solving.
Exactly. And be ready for follow-up questions. They might ask, what was the outcome? Or what did you learn from this experience? So reflect on those lessons learned and how they've shaped your approach.
Great advice. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly valuable. It can help you tailor your responses to the specific job requirements, making sure you're highlighting those problem-solving skills that are most relevant.
Okay, moving on to question number 5. How do you stay up to date with changes in accounting regulations or standards? This one is crucial, especially in a field that's constantly changing.
It is. Accounting regulations, tax laws, reporting standards, they're always in flux. So it's not enough to just say, I read things. What are some concrete examples? How can our listeners show their commitment to staying informed?
Talk about your go-to resources. Do you subscribe to industry publications like the Journal of Accountancy or Accounting Today? Do you attend webinars or conferences? Maybe those hosted by professional organizations like the AICPA or IMA. Do you follow thought leaders on social media? Maybe you participate in online forums or discussion groups.
Those are all great examples. And don't be afraid to get specific. Mention a recent article that changed your understanding of a regulation, or a conference presentation that introduced you to a new standard.
Show them you're actively engaged in the profession and you're genuinely interested in staying ahead of the game. And of course, RoleCatcher's AI can help you stay up to date too. Their platform has a ton of industry news, articles, and even personalized learning recommendations, all tailored to your career goals.
It's like a custom news feed for your accounting career. That's amazing. Now, any potential pitfalls to avoid when answering this question?
Don't name drop publications or organizations you haven't actually engaged with. The interviewer might dig deeper and ask you about a specific article or event. You don't want to be caught off guard. Honesty and authenticity are key.
Absolutely. It's better to be genuine and upfront about your learning process than to try to fake it. Okay, let's move on to question number 6. How do you ensure that financial data is secure and confidential? Right. Data security is a big deal these days, especially in our digital world. This question is all about gauging your awareness and commitment to protecting sensitive information.
It's a critical question, and it goes beyond just knowing the right passwords. The interviewer wants to see that you understand the importance of data security and that you're proactive about safeguarding confidential information.
So what are some key points our listeners should focus on? What will really impress the interviewer?
Start by showing you understand data security principles and best practices. Talk about things like strong password management, data encryption, access controls, regular security audits, even physical security measures for documents and hardware. It's about showcasing a comprehensive approach to data security, thinking about it from all angles.
It's about layers of protection, not just relying on one single measure. And I think it's also important to mention any initiatives you've been involved in to promote data security. Maybe you've created training materials, conducted awareness campaigns, or implemented new protocols.
That's a great point. It shows you're not just thinking about your own actions, but the security of the entire organization. And don't be afraid to get specific. Did you implement a new security protocol in a previous role? Did you identify and address a potential vulnerability? Those are the kinds of examples that make your response stand out.
Real-world experiences always beat a generic list of security measures. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer. Their platform can help you tailor your responses to the company's specific security protocols and technologies.
That's right. You can customize your answers to show you've done your research and that you understand their specific security needs and concerns. It's all about proving you're not just any candidate. You're prepared for this opportunity. Okay, let's tackle question number 7. How do you prioritize accuracy and timeliness in your work? This one feels like a bit of a balancing act.
It is a classic dilemma. Every employer wants both accuracy and speed. But sometimes those two goals can feel like they're working against each other. So how can our listeners strike that perfect balance? Any tips for crafting a winning answer?
First, acknowledge that both accuracy and timeliness are important. Then, talk about your strategies for ensuring both. Do you break down tasks into smaller, manageable steps? Do you have a system for double-checking your work? Do you use any time management techniques to stay on track?
Those are all great points, and I think emphasizing communication is crucial here. Talk about how you proactively communicate with stakeholders to manage expectations. Keep everyone in the loop. If you're running behind, don't wait until the last minute to let them know. Be transparent and proactive.
Absolutely. Communication is key in any role, but especially when you're juggling those competing priorities. Now, are there any pitfalls to avoid when answering this question?
Definitely don't suggest that you're willing to sacrifice accuracy for speed. That's a huge red flag in any accounting role. Also, don't overemphasize one over the other. It's about finding that balance and showing that you can adapt to different situations. Sometimes accuracy is paramount, other times speed is crucial. Demonstrate that you can read the room and adjust your approach accordingly.
Excellent point. All right, ready for question number 8. This one focuses on teamwork. How do you collaborate with other departments to ensure accurate financial reporting? It's a reminder that accounting doesn't happen in a vacuum. You need to work seamlessly with other departments to get the full picture.
It's about understanding that accurate reporting relies on clear communication, shared information, and a willingness to work together towards a common goal. So what are some good examples our listener could use to show off those collaboration skills?
Think about times you've had to work with other departments to gather information, maybe to clarify discrepancies or explain complex financial data. Have you ever had to present financial reports to people who aren't in accounting? How did you make sure they understood the information? These are the types of experiences that demonstrate effective collaboration.
Those are fantastic examples. When you're crafting your response, make sure to highlight your specific role in the collaboration process. What did you do to make communication easier? How did you contribute to the success of the project? It's about showcasing your individual contributions within a team.
Great point. Now, any potential pitfalls to watch out for?
One thing to avoid is bad-mouthing previous colleagues or departments. Even if you had difficult experiences, focus on the lessons you learned, the positive steps you took to improve communication and collaboration. It's all about framing things in a positive and constructive way.
Right. Nobody wants to hire a complainer or someone who throws their teammates under the bus.
Okay, ready for our final interview question from RoleCatcher? This one is, how do you approach reconciling accounts? Feels like we're getting back to the core of accounting with this one. Back to the fundamentals. The interviewer wants to know you understand the process, that you pay attention to detail, and you're committed to accuracy. They're looking for someone who doesn't take shortcuts and understand how crucial this task is.
So how should our listener tackle this question? Should they walk through a specific reconciliation process step by step?
Well, it's good to have that level of detail in mind. Keep it concise. Focus on the key principles: identifying discrepancies, verifying transactions, making sure all those accounts balance. You can mention the tools and techniques you use, but the emphasis should be on your meticulous approach and your unwavering commitment to accuracy.
That's a great way to frame it. You can even take it a step further by sharing how you've used reconciliation to find errors or even fraud. It shows your value and proves you're not just going through the motions, you're actively looking for ways to improve accuracy and protect the company's money.
Brilliant tip. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine. It can help you tailor your answers to align with the company's specific reconciliation processes, showing you've done your homework and understand their unique needs.
Exactly. It's all about going above and beyond and showing you're genuinely interested in this specific job.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground already, and I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what RoleCatcher offers. We've tackled some tough interview questions, given some actionable tips, but there's so much more to explore, especially when it comes to career progression and the long-term outlook for accounting assistants.
Absolutely. We've only just begun to unlock the insights that RoleCatcher provides. There's a ton of information about career paths, certifications, industry trends, and how to use AI to supercharge your job search. And that's exactly what we'll be diving into next. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about those career paths. What can someone listening expect as they climb that accounting ladder?
This is where things get exciting. The RoleCatcher Career Guide lays it all out, starting with the accounting assistant, of course. From there, you could move up to junior accountant, then senior accountant, and eventually you could land that coveted accounting manager position. It's a journey of growth, responsibility, and impact.
It's like leveling up in a video game, but with real-world skills and earning potential. Each stage throws new challenges your way and gives you more opportunities to learn.
Totally. So let's break it down a bit. Can you give us a taste of what each stage involves? Like, what are some key responsibilities that show how the role changes as you move up?
Of course. So as an accounting assistant, you're focused on the essentials, the tasks that keep the financial gears turning, so to speak, recording those transactions, verifying deposits, making sure invoices are processed accurately and efficiently. You're like the engine room of the accounting department.
So you're the one making sure all the numbers add up and everything runs smoothly behind the scenes.
Precisely. Then, when you step into that junior accountant role, you start taking on more analytical responsibilities. You'll be helping with financial statement preparation, diving deeper into account reconciliations, maybe even getting involved in budgeting and forecasting. You're not just recording the data anymore, you're starting to interpret it.
So you're seeing that bigger financial picture, how all the pieces fit together.
Exactly. You're moving from the tactical to the strategic. And as you become a senior accountant, those leadership skills come into play. You're overseeing those complex processes like month-end and year-end closing, coordinating with different teams, maybe even mentoring junior staff.
So it's not just managing numbers anymore, it's managing people and processes. That's a pretty big step up.
It is. And finally, you reach the top. Accounting manager. You're the conductor of the orchestra, leading the entire accounting team, shaping financial strategies, ensuring compliance with all those ever-changing regulations. You're the one ultimately safeguarding the company's financial well-being.
Wow, that's quite a journey. The role really evolves as you gain experience, knowledge, and leadership skills. It's pretty inspiring to see that kind of growth potential.
Absolutely. And to give you a better picture of this progression, the career guide includes these real-world example profiles for each stage. They highlight typical responsibilities, skills, and career paths. It's like getting a sneak peek into the future of your accounting career.
That's super helpful for understanding what each stage actually looks like in practice,
Yeah.
beyond just the job title.
Exactly. And while we're talking about career advancement, let's not forget those certifications that can add some serious oomph to your resume. The career guide highlights 3 key certifications that are like gold in the accounting world. Certified Bookkeeper, CB, Certified Management Accountant, CMA, and Certified Public Accountant, CPA.
Those are the big leagues. Can you give us a quick overview of each one? Like who might be a good fit for each certification?
Sure. The CB certification is a great place to start, especially if you're new to the field. It focuses on those core bookkeeping skills, recording transactions, managing accounts, preparing financial statements. It's proof that you've got the fundamentals down pat.
So that's a solid base to build on.
Exactly. Then you've got the CMA, which is geared towards management accounting. It shows off your expertise in financial planning, analysis, control, and decision support. It's a great option if you want to explore the strategic side of accounting and maybe even move into those leadership roles down the line.
So if you're aiming for that accounting manager position, the CMA could be a big help.
For sure. And then there's the CPA, the gold standard in the profession. It's a tough certification, but it demonstrates your comprehensive knowledge of accounting and auditing, tax laws, professional ethics, the whole shebang. It opens doors to a wider range of opportunities, and it's often required for those top-level positions.
It sounds like the CPA is the dream for a lot of aspiring accountants.
It is. And the great thing is, the career guide doesn't just tell you about these certifications, it provides links to external resources where you can dig deeper, learn about the requirements, figure out how to get certified. You can even start mapping out your professional development plan.
That's incredibly helpful. It's like having a roadmap for your accounting career. But certifications are just one piece of the puzzle, right? What other things contribute to success in this field?
Absolutely. Certifications are valuable, but they're not the only thing that matters. Your work experience, your soft skills, your networking efforts, and your passion for accounting, they all play a role in your career trajectory. It's about the whole package.
That's a great point. You need to combine those technical skills with strong interpersonal and communication skills. That's what makes you a valuable asset to any team.
Precisely. Now, remember those real-world example profiles we talked about earlier? I think it would be helpful to pull out a specific detail from each one. Something that really brings them to life, captures the essence of each career stage.
I love that idea. It's all about making these career stages feel real and relatable. What detail from the accounting assistant profile stood out to you?
The one that resonated with me was their emphasis on customer service. The profile mentioned how they were great at arranging authorized refund vouchers, handling customer requests efficiently, resolving issues quickly. It highlights the importance of those interpersonal skills, even at the entry level.
So it's not just about the numbers. It's about interacting with people and providing great service. That makes sense, especially in the ticketing industry where you're dealing with customers all the time.
Exactly. What about the junior accountant? What caught your eye?
The junior accountant profile focused on their involvement in budgeting and forecasting, using their analytical skills to provide valuable insights. It shows they're not just recording what happened, they're helping to shape the company's future.
Great observation. It's about moving beyond those day-to-day tasks and thinking strategically about the company's financial health.
Okay, what about the senior accountant? Anything jump out at you?
The senior accountant profile highlighted their responsibility for the month-end and year-end closing processes. That requires some serious organizational skills, attention to detail, and the ability to manage multiple deadlines. It's a high-pressure role that demands a calm head and a methodical approach.
You definitely need to be organized and a master juggler to excel in that role.
Absolutely. And last but not least, the accounting manager profile. They emphasize ensuring compliance with internal and external regulations and standards, mitigating financial risks, and upholding those ethical practices. It's a position with a lot of responsibility. It requires a deep understanding of the law, a strong moral compass, and the ability to make those tough calls.
Sounds like the accounting manager is the ultimate guardian of the company's financial well-being, a role that demands integrity, expertise, and a commitment to doing things the right way. So we've talked about the career path, the certifications, and we've even gotten a glimpse into what each stage actually looks like. But let's not forget about those interview skills. How can RoleCatcher's AI help our listener prepare for those crucial conversations and land that dream job?
That's where RoleCatcher really shines. Their AI-powered platform is like having a personal interview coach by your side. It analyzes your responses, gives you feedback based on the specific job requirements. It even suggests ways to improve your answers. It takes those generic interview tips and tailors them to your specific situation.
That's incredibly helpful, especially for anyone feeling nervous or unsure about those tough interview questions.
For sure. RoleCatcher's AI takes the guesswork out of interview prep. It's like having a secret weapon that gives you a competitive edge.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the nuts and bolts of the accounting assistant role to the exciting career paths that await. But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to those real-world examples. I think it would be valuable to dig a little deeper into a few more profiles, see what we can learn from the experiences of those who have been there and done that.
That's a great idea. It's one thing to talk about career stages in theory, but it's a whole other thing to hear about the real experiences of people who've climbed that accounting ladder. So let's jump back into those profiles and see what nuggets of wisdom we can find.
Okay, so let's get back to those real-world example profiles from the RoleCatcher Career Guide. I'm really curious to see what other insights we can get from those who have been there, done that. Where do you want to start?
Let's go back to the senior accountant profile for a second. One thing that really stood out to me was their involvement in developing and implementing those accounting policies and procedures. It shows they really take ownership and understand not just the numbers, but the whole system, the framework that drives the accounting process.
Right. It's about moving beyond just doing the tasks and actually shaping the direction of the department. Shows initiative and leadership, which is super important.
Exactly. It highlights a key part of growing your career in accounting, that shift from just doing the work to actually leading and shaping those procedures.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the accounting manager profile? Anything in there that resonated with you?
The thing that really struck me was their emphasis on mentorship. The profile mentioned how they actively train and develop junior staff, fostering a culture of learning and growth within the team. It's a good reminder that leadership isn't just about bossing people around. It's about helping others reach their full potential.
That's a great point. True leadership is about leaving a legacy, not just individual achievements. It's about building a team that can thrive even when you're gone.
Absolutely. And it speaks volumes about those soft skills: communication, empathy, the ability to inspire and motivate others. Those are just as important as the technical accounting stuff.
We've covered so much today. Unpacked those tough interview questions, explored career paths and certifications, gotten a real sense of what different accounting roles look like in action. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of the accounting world.
I know, right? And I really hope our listeners feel more prepared and confident about their own job search.
Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one key thing. The accounting field is always changing. New technologies, regulations, industry trends popping up all the time. So continuous learning isn't optional, it's a must if you want to succeed.
Couldn't agree more. Embrace those opportunities to learn, stay curious, and never stop asking questions. And hey, remember, RoleCatcher is a fantastic resource for staying ahead of the curve. Their AI-powered platform gives you personalized insights, tailored feedback, and a ton of information to help you grow professionally.
So there you have it. That wraps up our deep dive into the world of accounting assistants. I hope you found this episode helpful, maybe even a little bit inspiring.
And most importantly, I hope you're feeling ready to go out there and ace that interview. Remember, be prepared, be confident, and show them how much you love accounting.
Now go out there and land that dream job.